Today we land the rocket ship in one of America's most famous national parks, Petrified Forest. It's notorious for its ancient trees made of colorful rock, but the Painted Desert section too is a strange and magical place. Even after visiting, you can hardly believe you were actually there. We had no choice but to break the trip rule and get on the interstate today. There's no other way to get from Chambers, Arizona to Petrified Forest National Park. Not only that, but the interstate actually passes through the park. When you take the exit, you're already in the park boundaries. But are you prepared for the visions to come? There are two visitor centers. This one in the north, Painted Desert Visitor Center, gives you a sense of what's in store. Basically, the one road here goes down through the park with several views and landmarks along the way. And, suggests the brochure, you may be lucky enough to see some wildlife. Sounded fun, so we quickly jumped back in the car to get our first look at the unreal world of the Painted Desert. The Painted Desert is actually a larger swath of Arizona, and this part of it lies within the Petrified Forest National Park. The colors here, mostly crimson with white, pink, and grayish purple highlights, look impossible. For Earth, anyway. This is straight out of science fiction. Petrified Forest National Park doesn't gloss over its human history. Half the front page of the brochure is about people, including the ancient first humans in the area from about 13,000 years ago, and the mysterious petroglyphs and arrowheads and ceramics that have been discovered. Recent activities celebrated as well. In its heyday, Route 66 from Chicago to Los Angeles also passed through the Painted Desert, which was one of the drive's most enticing attractions on a route full of them. This 1932 Studebaker honors America's Mother Road. Also unusually, trains still pass right through the park. This is a freight train, but Amtrak's Southwest Chief passenger service also goes through. On this day, the sky was attempting to match the landscape for colorful shapes and moodiness. We pulled onto a side road to look for a picnic spot and, thanks to our welcome party, had to declare the earth, not the heavens, the winner today. The scenery for today's picnic was even better than yesterday's, and my blood sugar was a perfect 106. Maybe Arizona is the place for me. As you drive through the park's terrain, the colors and shapes change, and it was around this central part where you start to see the famous petrified pieces of trees. We'll be seeing more of them further to the south, but first, why does the Painted Desert exist at all? It's all about geology. Different layers of sediment were deposited here from about 227 million years ago, when Arizona began to morph from lush tropics to arid desert. The bands of rock over the years had different minerals and colors, and now uneven erosion has exposed the layers to us in fantastic ways. The Blue Mesa area has a 1-mile trail you can walk with slopes up to 35%. Puts that 16% a couple days ago in perspective. We did the walk, and on a day of highlights, it was probably the most breathtaking. You walk through a spooky, dreamlike world of Badlands, rough, heavily eroded rock surfaces, and in these Badlands you get a really close-up view of the spectacular colored layers of rock. We left our car in care of this guy, but I think he was distracted by the view. Can't blame him. We ran into our other new friends again on the way from Blue Mesa back out to the main road and headed to Rainbow Forest Visitor Center near the park's south entrance. Inside, displays explain the fossils found in the area, when smallish dinosaurs fought for food. A prelude to the greatest fossils of them all, right outside the building, the Petrified Forest. Thousands of these ancient trees are scattered across the desert here. They still look exactly like trees, but are now made of colorful rock. And unlike a lot of national park features, these you can go right up to and even sit on. What happened is that ancient trees would fall and end up in rivers. Normally they just break apart and decay and become other things. But some of them got buried in the silt and volcanic ash, where they were protected from decay. Minerals in the water bonded with the dead tree, replacing the organic matter in the individual cells. The result was rocks full of differently colored minerals that had maintained the exact shape of the original tree. The biggest petrified tree here is the 44-ton Old Faithful. Hey, it was good enough for Albert Einstein. After the Painted Desert and the Petrified Forest, we drove a few miles to the town of Holbrook, Arizona, and to our motel. We did some quick laundry, got some road trip pizza, which gave me high blood sugar, and readjusted to life back on our home planet after the history lessons from the day's uncanny and supernatural vistas. Tomorrow we head up to the northwestern corner of Arizona for the first of 2 days at what may be the world's most famous national park of all. Yes, it's time, the Grand Canyon, which is of course amazing, but which demanded a sacrifice from us.